So here we go, folks. While Mr. Shah is out there in Bangalore talking about the possibility of riots if Congress comes to power in Karnataka, which is shameful for a home minister to say. In fact, he should have been saying that even if the Congress comes to power, I as a home minister will ensure there are no riots. That people would have understood, right? But this, one doesn't. And if you look at the security situation after the 5 soldiers were killed blown up in a truck, which seemed to involve Chinese-made propelled rocket launchers, and then you see this: 11 killed as Maoists blow up security van in Chhattisgarh, and you read this: lack of intel, violation of SOPs under lens after Maoist attack, and then you have this usual escape plot. Strike is a sign of desperation. Security hospital. All strikes, according to our security officials, are a sign of desperation. Then why the hell haven't they stopped? I ask these days. This is a question that needs to be answered by the NSA, needs to be answered by the Home Minister, and pretty soon, because the security and law and order situation is abysmal, it seems, in the country and going down the tube. As you see this, Monu Manesar's gang of cow vigilantes chases cattle transporters, releases video. So that's all our security is about. Chase cow transporters. How can cow transporting be illegal, folks, right? And then you see this and you say, shame on all of us. And anyone who has a reason to hide behind that this is political, etc., shame on you if you allow this to continue. A wrestler's plea needs a preliminary inquiry before FIR, says police to the Supreme Court. They went running into the Supreme Court once they got hauled up. But what kind of preliminary inquiry is required? FIR is FIR. You have my word for it. You seem to put an FIR on anybody's word. I mean, this example is a FIR against Rahul Gandhi for saying what he said against Modi's who were corrupt, and you do an FIR without doing any preliminary inquiry based on a cassette and a tape. Here you have people actually saying that it happened to me. What proof do you need, right? And at camp, wrestlers cried, spoke of sexual harassment by Brij Bhushan, says physio, says he briefed oversight committee on what he saw, heard at 2014 camp. And that's why you can understand why these girls don't believe in this committee, because the committee first did allow Babita Phogart, the representative of the wrestlers, to have a look at it, and this is what happens, right? And then this is what I really like. Maan Ki Baat has helped improve democracy, says Shah. All I feel is that Maan Ki Baat, all it has helped improve is somebody's image, and try to improve somebody's image and just give a one-way bhashan on things that he probably doesn't know and understand, especially when he does Maan Ki Baat for children. When you don't have your own children, you really don't understand what they are going through, right? And this is a peach. This is what yesterday, I think in an interview, Satyapal Malik said. Satyapal Malik, not me, right? And you know Maan Ki Baat now. What does he say? Ye na chai wala hai, na gaay wala hai. Ye na chai wala hai, na gaay wala hai. ये अडवाणी और अंबानी का साला है और इसने देश बेच डाला. This is what Satyapal Malik is saying, and he's saying, you say it in Dehati language, this is what's happening in the Dehat, in UP, Bihar, in Rajasthan, UP, and in Haryana, right? Then you have this. This is beautiful. California's caste bias bill clears Senate panel, and India should sit up and note. I mean, though I know Ram Madhav will come out and say they don't understand what's happening in India and there is no caste system. But hey, what does he say? What does it say? A bill seeking to explicitly ban caste-based discrimination in California cleared its first legislative hurdle on Wednesday after the state Senate Judiciary Committee unanimously decided to move the draft law to the Senate. This marks the first time a US state legislature considers a bill on caste, the latest in a string of moves that has spotlighted the dynamics of caste in America. The bill SB 403 was introduced last month by State Senator Aisha Wahab, who said caste discrimination was a social justice and civil rights issue. Caste is an invisible shackle placed on people at birth. Those of us not raised in that system can't possibly understand what it does to one's psyche. The international trauma, the intergenerational trauma it causes, Wahab said. And this is something, folks, you got to worry. Seasonal supply side problems add to inflation under watch, says FM. Now, this is seasonal supply. Now, what I am told is that all the fruits in season are also sky high. So, it's not, so she wants to say seasonal as in, they're not in season and things go out of control like onions and potatoes. But here we are saying that even the seasonal stuff is out of control. Unbelievable. And this is what I love, is what T.K. Arun writes. He says, can we be top of the pop? And what is our policy choices can render India the hub of global prosperity or of global disorder? This is what's the key. If we can either be global prosperity or global disorder. And this is what for all the bucks who think the population, Muslim population will overtake us, right? And people, all the smart guys and intelligent guys who bought into it obviously haven't done their math calculation. He says, decline in the population growth rate has been the highest for Muslims among all social groups. And then what he writes is what everybody should know, right? Where you know whether a population is going to become your asset or a liability. He says, with the world's largest population of thinking, creative people trained in scientific inquiry, creativity of the technological and aesthetic kinds, and coexistence of diversity, India can become the engine of global peace and prosperity. That would mean democratic transformation and continuity of Indian tradition. If, on the other hand, Indians are fed skills, distrust of differences, intolerance of dissent, and worship of homogeneity, it would pervert India's genius for multicultural acceptance and make India a source of global insecurity and disruption. Hear this sentence very carefully. Intolerance of dissent and worship of homogeneity, it would pervert India's genius. Okay, and this is the man which are kind of politicians that we should have had. As Ramesh Inder Singh writes, man of the people, secular and moderate on his views, Prakash Singh Badal restored harmony in the state after the violent 1980s. Hindu-Sikh enmity and development of rural Punjab were key features of his political life. A consensus builder, Badal never imposed his opinion on others. His impromptu wit, one-liners often politely slipped in during dreary or long-winding official speech would lighten up animated discussions and calm tense situations. He had a way of getting what he wished without ruffling others or giving the impression of having overruled their views. This, folks, are the kind of people we need now, right? This is the kind of people we absolutely need at this moment, and we just unfortunately lack them, especially in the Saptadhar party. 3 cheers and Jai.